In a world that was 1950s post-war America, one former German scientist was placed in charge of capturing and studying cryptids by the US government. What happened next was almost too unbelievable to be believed. Wait, hold on. Too unbelievable to be believed? What talentless hack wrote this drivel? Cryptogenesis, the Doc Stein tape, stars Henry Zebrowski as Doc Stein.
I'm from Germany. I can take it. We made fucked up things forever. We made up most fucked up things.
Ed Larson as the Loch Ness Monster.
Sometimes I swim, sometimes I eat, sometimes I hide from cameras, other times I'll eat somebody.
Holden Mcneely as the Loveland Frogman.
Hey, what are you doing in my swamp, you stupid dive freak?
Andrew Parker as Bigfoot.
Wait a minute, did you take a dump in my woods? I hope you're gonna clean that up. Some of us walk around here barefoot, you know.
Brendan Cahela as the Mothman.
By the way, does anyone have a sweater I can nibble on? I'm famished.
And a bunch of other people you've probably never heard of. Don't miss the show that Mark Maron called the best fucking podcast ever bar fucking none. And that Joe Rogan said, changed my life even more than the first time I did DMT. Crypta is available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Binge all 10 episodes of the first season now, or a gang of skeletons with fire for hair will come into your room while you sleep and drag you kicking and screaming into hell where you'll be tortured for eternity. Don't say that we didn't warn you.
That sounds bad. Doc, what exactly was that?
You think that you're the only creatures down here? This is the Area 51. Get with the program.
Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blind. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, and today we are joined by our guests, Andrew Parker and Brandon Cahela. Guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey.
Heyo.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having
Very
me.
much so.
Happy to have you. You guys do a podcast called the Crypta Podcast. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what you do, what the show's about?
Yeah, this idea is really first germinated when me and Andy were high schoolers?
High school.
Yeah.
Really?
Still in high school. Yeah, we grew up across the street from each other in Tampa. So
Cool.
we very instantly clicked when we both found out that we loved bad monster movies and making little videos with action figures and stuff. And then we both realized we really like cryptids and like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and that kind of thing. And we kind of developed this idea around it and just took out some notebook paper and started drawing some rough character sketches. And now we're finally at a place where we can
We can produce something.
yeah
So basically what it is it's a comedy audio drama set. This last season was set in the 1950s, and it's about cryptids. It's about a zany ex-German doctor hired by the U.S. government to come capture and study cryptids.
And we've both listened to it, and it's hilarious. The voice actors that you've worked with to pull off this project are they're top tier in terms of what they do with their comedy.
Yeah, I was just I went to Florida State where I actually saw Henry and Ed do the sketch comedy in this group called Murder Fist, which they still do to this day. And they were really talented, and it was really cool to have them come in and do some wacky voices, because I know they're kind of used to just doing their own voices on the podcast, but it was cool to have them kind of broaden themselves and do some kind of outlandish characters.
Yeah, and being sketch comedians and stand-up comedians and stuff, they really brought a lot to the table with improv on the stuff that we had written. So they did a fucking knockout job. I can swear on this podcast, right?
Oh, you could, yeah.
All right, good. Excellent. Perfect.
Yeah, man. I instantly was into it. And I mean, Jesse told me he listened to it without even realizing for a second that who the voice talent was.
Yeah.
And then he listened to the credits and it was like,
that sounds like Henry.
And yeah, you can overlook it so easily. The guys really got into the roles. And you guys were actually part of the cast doing voice acting too, right?
Yes, we were.
I mean, that's always kind of been how it was ever since we developed the characters. We always had these very specified ideas of how they should sound. And it honestly was more of a logistical thing too. It was like, hey, we're going to be there anyway, producing the thing. Why not do some voices for it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Process a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
It is tough. It is tough bringing people in. I'm sure you've had issues scheduling people before.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
That's one of the hardest parts of production.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's kind of gotten to that point now where I've heard Ed doing Ness's voice so much. It's like now I hear him on other shows, and it's just all I can hear is Ness.
That's funny. You'd mentioned before that improv was a major part to what was going on. I was wondering that while listening to it, how much, like, what percentage would you say is like what you had actually written on the page compared to what's been ad-libbed in there?
I mean, probably like 30% was like ad-libbed because we had like a full-on script, but there was a lot of things where like in the middle of recording or in the middle of editing, I'd be like, oh man, you know what? This would be great if like, we threw this in there or how about you try it this way? And a lot of it too was like Henry, Ed, also, and Holden too, because, they're improv comedians. They'd send me their takes and they'd do like 4 or 5 takes each. And then they'd just play with it after like the first or second one. And most of that ended up getting put into the show.
Yeah, it was mostly about not so much ad-libbing as doing alternative takes. And then some of those were just so funny we had to put them in. You, as a good writer, you have to learn when to like be like, oh, I'm just going to step back because that joke was clearly way funnier than anything we wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, those could be the defining moments, I mean, in the whole show. And
that's the reason you bring on the people you do, too.
Yeah, it makes us look good, too. It's like, oh, yeah, we totally wrote that line.
There's one specific line, like Ed as Ness is like, oh, look out, someone's going to break something in here. I got to smoke. And, like, seriously, like, I mean, that wasn't, like, anywhere in the script.
So where did your fascination with cryptids come from in the first place? You guys said you kind of met over that.
In Florida, the big cryptid there is the skunk ape, which is this creature that wanders the Everglades. It's kind of like a Bigfoot, but...
Yeah, it's a stinky Bigfoot.
Yeah. They would always show it on the local news, too, in Tampa. The Bay News 9. Shout out to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's where everything came from. This guy would, I assume it was a guy, would dress up in the skunk ape costume and wander the Everglades, and some people said they saw it, and that was kind of the local lore of Tampa or Florida in general. And then that kind of got us into the cryptid thing, and we were just, kids who weren't old enough to drink yet, so we stayed at home and watched old B movies and got really into like the cryptozoology thing. And
we used to live on one of those in one of those neighborhoods that was like right on a golf course, and Brandon's backyard was on a golf course. So a lot of times we'd go out at night and we'd go cryptid hunting. We'd go like looking for UFOs and aliens and stuff. And we grew up watching like Mystery Science Theater like every Sunday or Saturday morning. And I don't know, it just kind of sealed in the love for monsters and stuff. Nice. And then I like remember, I think like the seed of Crypta like came from watching Revenge of the Nerds. And I was like, what if it was a fraternity, but they were cryptids?
That is how it was originally. And then I'm glad we didn't do that because of Monsters University, the Pixar thing.
That's where the name came from, like Crypta, because it was like, in Revenge of the Nerds, it was Lambda was their fraternity. And I was just like, Crypta. And that's been our like working title ever since.
Yeah.
Funny that there's an ogre in that movie. Also kind of mythical. It's cool. It's a unique concept for sure. And especially with all of the interest, it seems more recently in like crime, horror, and like the supernatural I guess we can say.
Yeah, conspiracy theories too, just in general.
Oh yeah, big time with the conspiracy theories.
Those are huge. Those are huge now.
Yeah.
So that season 1 basically tells the story of our main character, the Doctor, I guess acquiring all of these characters and bringing them together. What does season 2 look like for Crypta?
Well, the parts we've written so far, we're still kind of in the process.
In production?
Yeah, we're going to be there for a little bit, but hopefully recording soon. And so far, we're kind of jumping ahead because this one the first season takes place in the 50s, where he's acquiring the cryptids and kind of locking them up in Area 51. And then we're going to jump in the second season to present day when these guys are finally released from Area 51 and have to adapt to our modern society.
Yeah, they've been sequestered for like 70 years in Area 51. They got no idea how society works. Kind of like that part in the Shawshank Redemption where like the old man gets out of prison. He's like, "What is modern world?"
I thought you were going to say Blast from the Past, the romantic comedy.
Don't worry, none of them kill themselves.
I was going to say, don't end Big's storyline with him carving his name into a beam.
Big was here.
It's cool because you can really go anywhere with it, and it's more rare to see this narrative type of podcast. They are out there. I mean, like one that comes to mind that I liked was Wolverine's The Long Night. I don't know if you guys checked that out.
I have it. I have it in my subscribed podcast. I just haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that audio sort of scene setting with a lot of the background noise and stuff like that to sort of set that mood. That comes back to sort of the old radio days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird how that's come full circle again.
Yeah. I used to listen to I used to have like hundreds of cassettes of like old time radio stuff.
Nice.
Like old time radio shows. I used to Brandon would sleep over at my house and I'd make him listen to them.
I wouldn't. No, correction. I would never sleep because you'd be playing those into the. And then I crept and I saw the monster from behind. It's like the creep.
Yeah.
Drink Roma wine. Smoke cigarettes.
One of those podcasts I wanted to mention real quick. The Phenomenon. Are you guys familiar with that at all?
No, I haven't heard of Phenomenon.
It's a little cryptid. Yeah, it's crazy, and there's like Bigfoot creatures in it and whatnot. And great job. Definitely, it's serious. So you're not gonna be laughing in this one. It's a lot of death and whatnot, but it's definitely it's cool. It's a merger with cryptids like you guys. So
nice, I like it. Yeah. This whole thing is basically because now that we're setting them in modern society, it's really just a way for us to kind of hold a mirror up to society with these naive characters trying to experience all of life with all its weird idiosyncrasies that we take for granted.
Yeah.
That's a really cool way of going about it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These are untethered conversations at the back of a bar.
These are the things that we oft leave unsaid.
These are the lost signals we put out into the ether.
With discussions on video games,
movies,
literature, philosophy, and more.
The Lost Signals is a podcast platform
for interesting analysis of pop culture at large.
Founders
Scott Thurlow,
Stephen Hermosi,
Jonathan Ian Manzer,
Chris Morgan.
I produce a steady stream of content
since March 2015
to bring our unique views and ideas
to our audience.
Now, do you guys have any other projects in the works aside from Crypta? It seems like you guys have like a lot of thoughts and ideas. Is there any other things that we should expect from you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been writing as a writing team for a while now. We've written a lot of screenplays. I know, just to kind of keep ourselves sane, and it's fun to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what's great about writing is you really just need a couple of friends and a laptop or pen and paper.
Right.
But then other than that, I've been I wrote a web series called The Doll, which is about the underground world of Barbie doll collecting.
Oh.
Huh. And, which is a huge subculture in our world that I knew nothing about until I had to write about it. So that was kind of fun, and that's out now. We're kind of touring festivals. We're going to Jersey Web Fest in September here, and it'll be great. And so that's getting some awards. We went to Miami in May, and that was fun. So that'll be out sometime soon, hopefully after we do the festivals and get some more awards under the belt. But that's kind of what I've been working on recently. Yeah. And then we got some other stuff we've been writing outside of Crypta.
Yeah. Some sketches, some like screenplays. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We just wrote a horror one. So.
Yeah. We're just kind of branching out. It's like, we're still like, do we do comedy only? Do we like try and do everything?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like,
Right.
there's
It's a tough thing. Yeah.
conflicted messages from people. It's like, oh, you got to only do comedy or only do drama, but I like doing everything.
But I got all these stories in me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If they're in you just want to write them. You want to get them out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're bouncing around up in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you made the decision to include certain characters in Crypta, what made you choose? I guess the actual like main characters are what? Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mothman, and at one point a frogman.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Loveland Frogman.
Yes.
That was a quick point. Quick point.
Yeah.
That was like the thing with the show is that there's, we knew we wanted to have Bigfoot because everyone loves Bigfoot, and we wanted to have Loch Ness Monster because that's the arguably second most popular one.
Surprisingly not Scottish. I was surprised.
No.
We
thought that was a little too easy.
Yeah. Good call.
But-
He's millions of years old. He predates the accent.
True.
Mothman is British also, so we didn't want to have two kind of similar accents.
Yeah.
Point.
But
Ness or Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Mothman, they're top tier cryptids. But we wanted to bring in more cryptids, and
there's so many all over the world. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Holden Mcneely originally auditioned for Mothman, and it just didn't really work his take on it. But like his take was so great that I was like, oh my God, we got to write him in somewhere like as a cryptid. And so I was like, all right, because he did his take as like this really disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that is like a disgusting, like hilarious, like boys, I got to put it in somewhere. So I was like, we're writing in the Loveland Frog. Because he's like a gross.
His voice is just froggy.
Yeah.
Like it just fits so well, and I was just like, wow, I was dying that whole time. Like that he was on there, I was like, oh my God, perfect character development there.
Now, are they? You said that they were essentially recording takes and sending them your way, and you guys are choosing from those in terms of like the production.
Most of the time, yeah. We did have Henry and Ed because they actually live kind of close to where we live here, and
Henry and Ed came to my apartment, and like we just recorded like with them in person. But for Holden and a few of the other people who came on, they just recorded like multiple takes, and then I kind of Frankensteined it together, like like the good parts of each take.
So much better than having to do something live action where you have to get everyone in the same room.
Yeah. When you have to corral like 7 actors at once.
Oh yeah, good luck. That's
sure.
an art form right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Herding cats at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. But it was nice to be able to kind of you didn't have to put the pressure on people because it's like, hey, whenever you get a chance, just record these lines for us and send them our way. And really easy.
It's hassle free. Nice, man.
It's weird because you would almost think it would be more difficult not being in the same area, but like power of the internet.
Not for voiceover work, at least.
Yeah, the magic of editing.
Yep.
Perfect. Gotta love it. You can fix it in post. Almost everything.
Yeah.
Real quick, is there? I know it's deep cut, but is there any way you can give us a hint? Is there another role for Holden coming in the future, or is that a wrap on that guy?
Oh, he's definitely coming back for sure. I love Holden. He's fucking hilarious. I can't not have him on. He said he's down for the next season for whatever we could give him. So I'm not sure if we're gonna bring back the Frogman or if we're gonna write him in for something else. But he's coming back.
Yeah,
nice.
They're all coming back. We're getting the band back together.
Yes.
Nice. I can't wait to see what cryptids you're digging into, because when you dig deep into them, there's some fucking really weird ones out there, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we need to incorporate the chupacabra, I believe.
You got to. Yeah, you can't skip over that. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking for like chupacabra. He's like a cholo dude.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like we're thinking like Jersey Devil, like
right.
Brendan
Jersey
does
Devil.
the
Jersey Devil,
the Jersey Devil,
situation.
Yes.
Like Andrew Dice Clay.
I hope you guys don't mind, but I set an alarm for 4:30 a.m. Got to hit the gym.
Leg day.
Dude, yes, I can't wait.
That's probably one of the more fun parts is just thinking like, all right, what's the Wendigo gonna sound like?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what would their personality be?
We always try to like do it some kind of like, make some, because like these characters haven't been, I mean, everyone knows who they are, but like they haven't actually spoken.
Yeah.
So you kind of get the leeway there of like, okay, we can kind of do what we want.
Knowing little things that they do or the like way that they talk. And so, yeah, it's breaking it down to a different level for sure.
Yeah, like what's going to happen? Someone's going to call and be like, actually, Bigfoot didn't sound like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how he would sound.
Yeah.
If there was one cryptid that you guys could like confirm was real, what would it be?
Like that I'd like to actually see?
If you like in the breaking news, you wake up, pull up the phone, Facebook, boom, Bigfoot has been found. He's locked in a cage live. One day you're going to be able to see this.
I think mine would actually be the Congo dinosaurs.
Oh,
dude.
Because that would just be like, oh, dinosaurs still exist.
No, it's like literally that is like my exact one too. I would say Loch Ness Monster as a plesiosaur because it's like, yes, a real life dinosaur.
Dude, one of them made it. One of them fucking made it. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Come on, the chances are good that at least one is still here, right?
I've got to say, at first I was going to say, yeah, Bigfoot would have been mine, but that's way fucking cooler. A dinosaur.
Yes, fucking dinosaurs.
A dinosaur, dude.
In Africa.
There's a weird one that I would like to be real. I think it's called the Ningoon or something. They're like these.
Oh, yeah, the ninja or whatever?
Yeah, ninja.
Yeah.
They're like up in like the Arctic. They're weird giant humanoid swimming figures. That would be
gross.
This was a super creepy.
Yeah.
Mongolian death worm is one of my favorites too because it's just so weird.
What's the story behind that one? I don't know if I know it as well.
Tremors?
Yeah. Well, it's like a sandworm thing, and like moving through the sand creates a bunch of static electricity on it. So if you touch it, you'll die. Like because the discharge of electricity was enough to like kill a human. So yeah, and that's like the
electric eel in the sand. That's
yes.
It's a disgusting Pikachu, is what that's.
Yeah.
Dude. Gross.
Now, what's your guys' take on? I know it happened. Well, it's going to happen, but the news came out a while back. The whole Area 51.
Signed up, guys.
Yeah,
that was like the perfect storm. We have the Facebook for the show, and like I was like, oh man, I gotta like send this out. It's like bring it on.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of childish.
I think it's kind of fun, but I also think it's really dumb to try to go head to head with like the U.S. government, especially on a black site. You know,
dude.
I'd like to say if you want to know what Area 51 is like, just tune into our show.
Yeah,
and not get shot.
Yeah, not get
inside scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope nobody is dumb enough to actually show up on that site because I mean.
I think if anything, it's probably going to turn into some sort of what's that big one that they do out at in the desert every year?
Burning Man.
Yeah, it's going to turn into like a Burning Man at Area 51.
There's like a festival going on right at the gates.
Yes.
Pretty much like I don't know what to do, Colonel.
Colonel, we can't. They're not on our property. They're right off of it.
Time.
They're Area 50.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude. Newest festival. Everybody's gonna be at it. Fucking Seth Rogen's gonna be there next year. I would guarantee it.
But I guess
if that was the case, I might go.
coming from guys who have put in like thought into these cryptids, like what do you think is obviously some of them aren't real. What's your determination in ones that maybe have some reality behind them, or there might be a hint that maybe there's something more to this?
I don't know, like Bigfoot, right? Just
probably Bigfoot.
That seems like the most reasonable.
Like a loose monkey with back issues or something. So he can't over. He's got some scoliosis, or maybe just like a mountain man.
Yeah,
big hairy mountain man.
Somewhat like some species of Homo sapien that just never kind of evolved the way he did.
It's like a Neanderthal versus Homo sapien type of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe the most plausible.
Dude, I wish it was real, man. But the older I get, I've fallen off the train. I'm not a believer really anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's just like you hear things like, black bear constantly walking on two legs. That accounts for a lot of things. And then you hear about assholes down in Florida dressing up as skunk apes. So it's like, I don't know, man. I can't believe it. I mean, how no bodies recovered, no recent bones.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because they're interdimensional, Matt.
Dude, they're not. Alex Jones, step back in your spot.
They're like interdimensional creatures. I love that take where it's like really it's an alien.
I haven't heard that. I don't think.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, interdimensional fucking Bigfoot. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that explains everything then.
Yeah, that's why you don't see him, dude. He exists in another dimension. You don't even know it's there. All right.
Yeah, he just pops through every once in a while.
So yeah, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah.
He's also a time traveler. All right. He can go whenever he wants.
So I feel like you're the practical one then.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's got to be some of them that are out there somewhere. But it's like I feel like as technology progresses, like I know like back in the early part of the 20th century, there was a lot more belief in that kind of thing, just because we didn't have
there's a lot more undiscovered
heat imagery and like all these tools you can use now to like now you can kind of sweep the locations that they're supposed to be at and see if there's anything. But I feel like the technology.
He's in the Pacific Northwest, 100%.
Yeah,
like that forest. He's got to be there. If he's real, he's lingering there and going to Canada for the fucking summer.
Going down to Portland into one of those boutique.
Dude, yeah, dude. Grabbing a cappuccino, nice house cafe. What's up?
One of those hats, knit caps.
Waxing his mustache,
dude. Yeah. That's the only spot that doesn't have fur. That's so weird. Like it's like bare between his nose.
Oh yeah. Got a reverse mustache,
dude.
Do you like craft beer?
Uh-huh. Do you like an unending wealth of puns?
Uh-huh. What about 4-hour lectures on the ethics of cryptocurrency usage in third world nations?
No!
Oh, right.
But do you still want craft beer reviews and comedy, right? Uh-huh.
Then listen to Hop Nation USA, a craft beer podcast.
Available on iTunes, Podbean, Google Music Play, and Stitcher.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not. Just listen to the podcast. Hop Nation USA.
Where all fine podcasts are sold.
So, honestly, though, if there is undiscovered things out there, I would think it would be more likely that they'd be in the ocean just because that's less explored.
Absolutely. Like that is the unexplored frontier of this earth for sure.
That's what's weird. It's like everything looks like we just take that for like the anglerfish. Those are like so weird looking, but because we've seen them for like so long and we're just like, oh yeah, that's a normal fish.
Yeah.
Dude, and there's just like a shrimp, I can't remember the name. I want to say mantis, but I feel like that's wrong. But it can literally like punch with the force of a 22 caliber bullet.
Yeah, the mantis.
Yeah, that's the mantis shrimp.
It's the mantis, okay. Dude.
Ass.
There's so many freaky little things out there. I mean, you got giant squid. I mean, monsters are real. Sharks. I mean,
that's what I was thinking with the giant squid. That was something that we didn't know about for the longest time. Sailors used to go out and fucking like draw little depictions of it. People were like, "You're crazy, giant squid," But like, turns out they are actually real. And there's even
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right?
Dude, what if a megalodon's out there, dude? That's the worst.
Oh yeah, that's rough. That's scary, man.
Don't worry, Jason Statham will help us.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you got him around.
I want the guy from fucking Jaws, man. I know he's old as fuck now. Hopefully he's old as fuck. I don't know. He might have passed.
Which one?
The guy, the fucking captain from Jaws.
They're all gone except for Richard Dreyfuss, right?
Yeah, Jesus.
And
the shark finally got him, huh?
Yeah.
Jaws never dies.
That's great.
Oh, that's Goonies. Never mind. My bad.
Now that's a crossover that I want to see.
Dude, Goonies and Jaws, dude. Sean Astin never makes it out alive. You know that.
I always forget that Michael Caine is in Jaws 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah, if you watch Jaws 4, it's like Michael Caine. So it's like, you know what? Even he makes a bad movie every once in a while.
Oh, man. It's just Michael Caine fighting the shark in like a hand-to-hand combat style in the water.
What you think you're doing?
You're messing with my beach.
Just a little shark. So you guys seem to have an interest in movies, films. You mentioned watching B movies and stuff like that growing up. Any favorites like that you guys always go back to or anything?
Let's see.
Dreamcatcher is one of our favorite bad movies.
Okay.
That is a classic, terrible movie that I love to watch.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen that one. Wasn't that based off of Stephen King?
Yeah. It's Thomas Jane, Jason Lee, Morgan Freeman.
That can't be a bad movie.
Big budget.
It's like My Name is Earl's in it.
2003's finest horror film. I think the problem was our B movie exposure at that age was limited to whatever VHS at Blockbuster was around. So I remember we would watch the old stuff, like the black and white stuff,
the Deadly Mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do a similar thing, man. Blockbuster was shit, dude. You can go there and find the most random old horror films. I used to I used to do the dirty. I would burn copies of them when you could start burning things. I'd be like, yeah, and I'd have the worst movies ever. A lot of them never got watched. Watched a little bit of it, and be like, oh, it's really bad. Couldn't even stick through it.
Yeah. That's the thing. You gotta stick it out. You gotta watch the whole thing, and then
True, the reward is in the end, right?
It really does. I mean, the Mystery Science theater exposure really helps because then you can laugh about it.
Yes,
as we're watching it.
What did you think about them bringing it back? Did you watch any of the new versions on Netflix?
I did. Yeah, I watched some of the new season. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't
you know what it was? You know what it was? I think it was too polished. I think that was part of the charm of the old one.
Yeah, it looked too good. They put too much money into it. And it's just that was the charm of the original one, where it was kind of trash, honestly. That's where it was obvious the actors and stuff were also doing the prop work and stuff like that.
And the riffs were just now the riffs were there's so many jokes, but back then there would be lulls of they didn't have a joke every 5 seconds.
Yeah. It almost seems like it's more like you said, polished or written than.
Which I guess we shouldn't fault them. It's they did a better job. How dare they?
The old ones, they just feel more homebrew, and
that's the thing with cult classic type stuff is that's what you want. You don't want that's the reason it's a cult classic is because it's not polished.
Yeah, it's true. We actually used if you listen carefully, you can hear the sound effects of the hallway of the Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's one part. I think it's in the finale when they're walking through the lab and they're going through doors and stuff, and it's the sound effect from the original when they cut back from commercial when they're going through all the doors.
That's awesome.
That in there,
Got to play homage to it. Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, thinking about that, it's probably a nightmare for being a creator to because everything about making the next part is you got to up it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so they're shit, do we just update it modern and really tighten everything, or how do they reproduce? They can't do the same thing, so it was probably it's very tough. I can only imagine the nightmare they went through trying to bring that back.
Yeah.
I think that's what was cool about the show is that it was one of those few. It started off as a cable access type show, and it's one of the few shows like that just kind of blew up, and it's such a simple idea. We used to watch that too. That used to be a big thing we would do back in the Tampa, Florida days. Is we would
middle and high school watch public access.
All these terrible public access shows. We'd call in, prank call them. It was great.
Oh, yeah,
that's epic. That's amazing.
That's the greatest prank phone call you can do, where you can see a live reaction of the person you're fucking with, as you're fucking with them.
Oh, we didn't even have any really good public access local shit. So it's we missed out on that. That is amazing. But we would have been doing that if we had.
We always just called our friends' parents and fucked with them.
That works
good. Never good, because they'd have an idea and they'd be weird with you, but they couldn't prove it. So
yeah.
Isn't that weird? That's a thing that's gone too now. It's you can't prank call people anymore because everyone knows who's calling them,
dude. Yeah.
And no one will pick up a number they don't know. They just send it to voicemail.
Yeah. Or you can trace it.
Yeah, that's
dude,
right.
Yeah, too risky.
The old soundboard days were the golden era of prank
Who's
calling.
it, Daddy? And what does he do?
That's exactly it.
Oh, dude.
Bob's World soundboards. Oh man, classic.
Jack Black cock push-ups.
Oh, dude.
Back in the Wild West days of the internet.
Yeah,
right.
Man, beginning was beautiful. It was really fucking crazy, man.
Yep.
So where can people find Crypta? Where should they head to if they if they're looking to find the show?
We're on iTunes, Spotify. Should be on Google Play. I don't know. I don't have like a Samsung phone, so I can't check that. But should be on Google Play.
We're on Stitcher.
Yeah, we're on Stitcher. It should be on pretty much any app at this point.
Or you can go to cryptaseries.com, our website, and listen to it there.
Yes.
Although it's better if you listen to it on the other platforms.
Yes.
Nice.
Apparently, iTunes is the most important one from what I constantly hear. But
Supposedly.
every listen is important, I believe. But
Sure. Yeah. Every listen.
And I'm guessing you guys are also, I saw you had a Facebook page, Instagram. That's where we've been chatting it up.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, I would highly recommend listening to them in order because there is an arc.
Yes.
We have noticed that some people have been listening to the first episode and then the last episode.
Oh God.
It's cool. I'm not going to say don't listen to it at all, but you should probably listen to all the episodes. So you
don't try to Tarantino it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not one of those movies.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't make as much sense if you listen to it like you're watching Memento.
Yeah.
Doc's not tattooing shit on his arm from the first episode.
No.
Well, that's great, dude. You guys are doing great shit. I'm looking forward to everything that comes out in the future.
Hell yeah.
And we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man. We were happy to be here. We love talking about it. I mean, we've like I said, we've been doing this, had this idea since we were high schoolers. So
yeah,
it's like one of the few things we're like
quite a while.
We'll talk about it for hours if we need to.
Oh yeah, dude, we love it, and we can't wait for the more content. I know it's fucking hard, like, to create, man, but God, you guys are doing fucking awesome, and high hopes to see this as soon as possible. Come on, get on it.
Pressure's on. No, it's like I think it's gonna come together really soon. So
we kind of are playing catch up because we didn't actually expect it to be as listened to as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's so unique. And I think this is gonna be the new thing is like shows are gonna come on to podcast format. Mm-hmm. The old radio show is gonna live on. It's gonna get way better with the new effects, and I mean, stereo is so great now with. You can literally close your eyes and imagine the scenery. Like,
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows what the future will hold? I mean, we've been talking about trying to do like a live type read here in LA.
Yeah, live read.
That's awesome.
And we've been pitching it around as like a cartoon too.
Yeah.
So
that's originally how we ended it.
Yeah, that's part of why we've had so much downtime between like the first season and like now, because we've been running around all over town out here in Los Angeles trying to find someone to give us tens of thousands of dollars.
Comedy Central execs listening.
It's just as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we wish you the best, and you have the support of the Slackers.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
And Slackers. If you ever need like a spare chupacabra or anything, or like voice for a Wendigo, maybe throw us a line. We're
hell yeah.
Always need voices.
All right, guys, we'll have to do this again soon. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
Peace out.
We're smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're slacking America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. Or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
Give me a minute. Think about the seconds that are passing. Man, I gotta go and get it, grab it. Why you gotta go and act savage? Smoking weed, I gotta feed the habit. Now I'm on some other shit. Things that I gotta go get. Medical all on my slip. You falling like dominoes, bitch. Stuck in my ways, fucking high days, fucking sideways in the driveway. We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're slacking America. We're slacking America.